Hi, my name is Cynthia Tenalio, and I'm a chemistry teacher at Galena Park High School. In this video, we're going to explore how simulations can be used to support science practices. By the end of the video, you will be able to create a lesson that replaces or enhances a current lab with a simulation. Conducting a wet lab in the classroom has its limitations. Sometimes the phenomenon that we teachers want students to observe is too small, too far away, highly abstract, or difficult to manipulate. Simulations provide a way around all of these limitations. They are a way for students to work with models of things that are very small, very far away, or untouchable. They allow students to observe the relationships between variables by allowing minuscule and controlled experiments. These immersive explorations also give students the opportunity to predict outcomes and test them in a safe, low-risk environment. Therefore, the video will focus on 4 different simulation tools that will enhance and support your pursuit of science practices. First, we will play with Chemix, a website that allows teachers and students to draw science lab diagrams. Then, we will explore O-Physics, where we can conduct physics experiments and graph results. Then, we will look at the American Association of Chemistry Teacher webpage of simulations, which focus on inquiry and practice. Lastly, we will tour SimBucket, which is a collection of tutorials and games for all major strands of science. First is Chemix. Chemix has 2 main advantages. For your students who have trouble interpreting complex sets of lab procedures, Chemix can be an essential tool to create quick diagrams of lab setups. These can serve as accommodations for your English learners and special education students. Chemix is also very easy to use by students. Give them the chance to diagram a lab for a hypothetical experiment or for one that they will soon perform. Chemix contains a range of different supplies to create diagrams across disciplines. Here's an example of a set of lab procedures. Let's use Chemix to show how this lab should be set up. Use the icons on the left-hand side to toggle between chemistry supplies, biology supplies, distillation equipment, accessories and utilities, and shapes. The top buttons allow you to select shapes and text, drag the entire setup, insert text and arrows. Undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, and delete keys are simply labeled and easy to use. When you are finally done with your image, you can either download it or save it to the cloud. You can copy and paste the image into a set of lab directions that you already have. A computer is recommended to view the full simulation, as this website does not work on smaller screens. Next is O-Physics. O-Physics gives you the opportunity to change variables and witness the relationships between them. Not only that, but you can explore how variables are graphically represented. Here are just a couple of simulations that might be of interest to you. Here we see we can change the variables. Here's a simulation where we can manipulate graphs. This simulation shows vector addition. Here's a simulation that goes beyond physics and can be used in a middle school or a chemistry classroom. These simulations work on a phone, so students can access them even with limited technology. Here is a full list of all the simulations that are on the website. Please pause this video to fully scan through these topics. The third host website is that of the American Association of Chemistry Teachers. AACT provides simulations that promote inquiry. Students can use the collections of data to draw conclusions of chemical phenomena. There are also several opportunities for students to practice new skills acquired. Here is a simulation which allows students to access data. They can click on an element and it will tell them the number of protons, electrons, the atomic structure, the ionization energy, and the atomic radius. They can compare different elements, and they can also view relationships in graphical forms. Here's a simulation that asks students to practice. Here they are reading a graduated cylinder. When students write the wrong answer, it gives them feedback on how they could do better. It also tells them when they get a question correct, and it keeps score. These simulations also work on a phone. Just rotate your screen to adjust sizing. Here is a full list of all the simulations that are on the website. Pause this video to fully scan through these topics. Finally, SimBucket. SimBucket provides step-by-step tutorials that walk students through new information using interactive illustrations. You can also use the games on the website to engage students in learning. This is the home screen. You can sort by categories, including ChemThink tutorials, biology, physics, chemistry. You can also sort by games or by specific physics topics. Let's look at one of the ChemThink tutorials. You can log in as a guest, or you can register your name. As you can see, this tutorial is step-by-step and it shows the students their progress. There are also illustrations that go along with the information. You can also play games that check for understanding. Here's a game that can be adjusted for difficulty level and that will allow students to show their understanding. These simulations also work on a phone. I suggest switching your phone to landscape mode to make the images bigger. Here is a full list of all the simulations that are on the website. All entries that have 1 asterisk are tutorials. All entries that have 2 asterisks are games. The rest are simulations. Pause this video to fully scan through these topics. Now that we have explored how simulations can be used to support science practices, you should now be able to create a lesson that replaces or enhances a current lab with a simulation. Try one of the following. Use Chemix to create a diagram of a lab setup and insert the picture into an existing procedures list for a lab you already have. Or you can create a list of questions for students to answer regarding a simulation and add them to an existing lab. Thank you for your attention and participation. If you have any questions, please please feel free to email me. The link to the presentation is located at this address.